Okay, when I started Uber, it was go big or go home. It was everything's on the line. You got to make this happen. When I started doing this, it was all about trying to trying to pay my bills. If I'm being honest, it was everybody's counting on you. You got to do something. It was, hey, I don't care what excuses you got. This needs to happen, and you need to make it happen. When I started, it was all about, it was just out of survival. Like, hey, I got all of this stuff going on, and I got people relying on me, and yeah, I gotta make this happen. Yeah, it just wasn't. It was. I couldn't make excuses at that point. When I started Uber, I started out of the desire of knowing that, hey, if I don't figure this out, we may get evicted. If I don't figure this out, I'm going bankrupt. If I don't figure this out, man, like, I'm gonna be homeless. When I started Uber, it was just simply about, man, I need the next I need to find my next meal. How am I gonna pay for my groceries? Like, how am I gonna pay for, the gas in my car at that time? Obviously I'm in a Tesla now, but like, how am I gonna pay? I need money in my bank account. Can I be honest with y'all? When I started Uber, my bank accounts were negative. They were negative. Like, you know how you see a little negative sign? My bank accounts were so negative. They were telling me, hey, you got 20 days. You got 10 days. You got 10 days to bring this account back, or we're going to close it. That's how negative my bank accounts was. My bank accounts were so negative that they weren't even charging me fees anymore. They were just declining the transactions. It's like my bank accounts were negative when I first started doing Uber. So my situation is I came to Uber because I had to. I had to find something. So y'all know I started during the pandemic. I was a server primarily. I had other jobs, but like I was a server. And during that time, it's almost the same time. I think the pandemic started in March of 2020. During that time, everything shut down. I couldn't do the warehouse. I couldn't, a call center. I couldn't go to the call center because obviously it's the pandemic. And as a waiter, so the good thing about Florida is we didn't completely shut down in a sense of like, yeah, we still had options, but we shut down in a sense of like, people wasn't coming to the restaurant. So I was a waiter because I knew how to talk to people. I don't know if I still got that, but I just had a presence about me, man. Like I was just, people love me waiting their tables. They love being in my section. They love, like, people would call me out directly. Hey, that's my waiter. No, see, today you got Joe. No, we want you. Because I paid attention to detail. I would listen to people talk, and I don't know. I just people just love me, and so I would get tips pretty well. I'm a guy, so when I say well, as a guy, tips are gonna be different than tips are gonna be for women. Now, I know, y'all may say that that's sexist. I know. I know you may be like, well, and that ain't true. I was just gonna tell you, hey, look, well, that's your opinion, because it's different. It's different. It's very different when guys get tipped versus girls get tipped. Because a guy is willing to tip way more than the women are. I don't know. Look, listen. I'm going down the wrong path. Just know that I believe women used to get tipped a whole lot more than guys. And, so I got tipped well for a guy. I definitely didn't have my gut. You know, obviously I didn't have my beard. I was clean shaven. I didn't have my little fro. Man, but I just love people at that point. Love engaging with people, learning about people, learning new things. And they love the fact that I do the menu. So I can tell you the whole menu in like 3 seconds. Well, maybe not 3 seconds, but I could tell you the whole menu in like a minute and a half because I just knew it. And so people love that. What I've learned in my young couple years, I'm not old, but I'm not young. In these years that I've learned is that people love when you know what you're doing. Like when you're a professional, people love that. Like, yo, you really know your stuff. Like, yeah, you do too. People love people that actually give a crap, And I value my job. But unfortunately, when the pandemic hit, nobody was coming to the restaurant. They just weren't coming. Everybody was doing takeout. I mean, we had the little tent up. Can you just imagine the little tent? We had the little tent and we put out fans up there, but it wasn't a lot of people coming. And they were coming and they was all masked up. They weren't tipping. They weren't tipping. I mean, was I grateful that I still had a job? But they just wasn't tipping. And so, as a waiter, as a server, my life revolves around tips. And so, I was stuck. I was stuck. And that's how my bills got negative. That's how my bank account got negative. And that's how I was on the verge of eviction. And so when I started Uber, I started it out of like desperation. It was just like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I got to figure this thing out. And fortunately, I started doing Uber and I was able to pay some bills and do some things. But I still didn't even know the market. I tell a lot of the guys in the group, yeah, I started doing Uber, and yeah, it started paying my bills, but I didn't know our market like that. If it was the pandemic, I was just riding around. Like, I made a lot of mistakes to learn the market that I enjoy today. I didn't know that we had a slow season. I mean, obviously during the pandemic, it wasn't really a slow season because everything was slow. But like when we kind of picked up, I didn't know that there's an off season and an on season. And so it just, I struggled. I struggled my first couple years. But that's the thing about any business. If you ask anybody that does a business, they'll tell you you're going to struggle because there's ups and there's downs. There's good times and there's some bad times. And sometimes as a business owner, there's a lot of bad times. And obviously I highlight, getting into accidents. I highlight, renting the car. I highlight the negative bank accounts. It was tough. It was tough. But now that I'm on the other side of it, I can look back and say, yo, damn. and that's not to say that I don't make mistakes. Obviously, I still make mistakes. Every now and then a bill sneaks up on me. Every now and then I got a transaction that hits, and it's like, yo, wasn't expecting that. Every now and then I spend a little bit too much. It's like, hey, you got rent, dude. You got to make that car payment. But what I'm trying to use myself as an example of just saying, like, I started out of desperation and I make a lot of mistakes, but still, even to this day, I'm able to be here because of the opportunity, because I understand that there's a bigger purpose. When my bank accounts was negative, it's easy to just say, F it all. F it all. And in some respects I did. Like when I got into the accident with my car, I let that go. Shouldn't have did it because it ruined my credit. And that's why I say this all the time because my credit was really good before that. But I was just like I was listening to other people and whatever. But but that's why I use myself as an example. I got to that point because I didn't really see the bigger picture. The bigger picture was okay. This is the summer. This is the off season. Things will get better when it picks up. The bigger picture is okay. Go get you some more apps. Go. Look outside of doing Uber. Start doing private rides like everybody says. Okay, do you some deliveries. Like where there's a will, there's a way. Start communicating your services so that people know what you do. Get you some business cards. Start passing out business cards. Like there's always a way. There's always a way. But when you're just kind of stuck in that desperation and when you're just kind of stuck and it gets debilitating. It gets debilitating. So I guess what is this video about? Now that you done got this far, this video is about the little stuff. The little stuff like, oh my gosh, these offers. What? They're trying to send me the Kindle for $5, and I'm in West Palm Beach. What the crap? Why would they do that? $5? $5 don't even pay for my charging. What? They're trying to send me. They're trying to send me to Fort Pierce. Oh my gosh! They're trying to send me to Fort Pierce for $20. These offers suck. Oh my gosh! What? Uber is stealing money again? Oh my gosh! What? Oh my gosh! These are all little things, and I understand. I understand. What I mean by little things are these are insignificant. If you have a bigger goal, if you understand that, hey, I'm just doing Uber. So in my case, I'm doing Uber because I'm making investments into my life. So obviously you guys know I trade. Having the ability to have the free time to trade in the morning, I can trade in the evening. I can really trade all day. Realistically, I can trade all day. And the beauty of that is I now have 2 funded accounts. And funded just means, you guys know, I was using a prop firm or an evaluation account. Just like credit, they give you credit, they give you 50 grand credit, and they say, hey, make 3 grand on this account. Obviously, if you don't make the 3 grand on the account, then you just screwed. Nah, if you don't make the 3 grand on the account, they give you about 2 grand to kind of play with. And if you don't make that, you get under that 2 grand, okay, well, hey, listen, thank you for playing. Pay us some more money. And we might give you another 50 grand credit. But if you do make the 3 grand, that's the evaluation. They're evaluating your quote unquote, the way that you trade. And so if you do make that 3 grand on the account using the 50 grand leverage, now, okay, well, listen, you might got something here. So now we're going to give you what's called a funded account. And a funded account, you still got similar rules, but now you got to make another 3 grand. If you make another 3 grand, the difference between the evaluation account and the funded account is if you make this 3 grand on this funded account, hey, bro, hey, dog, we might cut you some paper. they go cut you some checks. And that's the beautiful thing. When you start getting checks from stuff that you didn't think that was going to happen, hey, that's what's up. So I have 2 funded accounts. I haven't gotten a payout yet because, I'm a little scared to trade them. But I do have 2 funded accounts. As I told you guys, I don't know, I said earlier, I did try vending machines at one point during the pandemic. It just didn't work out. It wasn't the investment opportunity for me. So now maybe, I'm going to do the tried and true rental properties. But of course, I got to get my credit right. Got to get my credit right. But because I'm an Uber driver, because I literally have freedom that I wouldn't have in a job. Yeah, I get the $2, $3 offers. Yeah, there's days where I'm not making $500, $600 in a day. Yeah, I have bad days, but for me, it's the big picture. It's the big picture that matters. It's not. It's about me. It's what am I trying to accomplish by turning on the app? And you can't get stuck in just I gotta pay bills. You gotta look past it. Gotta look further. Because I believe we all are put here. We all come from different experiences. We're all here for different reasons. But it's universally to do better for ourselves, our family, or our friends, whatever. That's why we're here. So you gotta look past, gotta look past these little things and have a bigger purpose. That's why I'm really big on my channel with saying, okay, yeah, it's cool to make the money, but what are you doing with the money? Is it just going to bills? You probably shouldn't do it. It's gonna frustrate you. Like, where is that money going to? Is it going to you taking a vacation? Is it going to you funding another business idea? Like in my case, I did insurance. Is it going to you making investments? Like in my case, it was the vending machines. Or is it going to you learning a new skill? Like in my case, I learned how to trade. Um, Obviously, I know how to program, so that's that too. Like I learned new skills. Or is it getting you another job? So you got the time to take tests and stuff. Like right now, I'm re-upping on my certifications, my security certifications. What is it that you're trying to accomplish? In other words, but yeah. So I done rambled enough. But yeah, with that being said, man, I'm gonna get out of here. I just want to say that I love you guys from the bottom of my heart. I love and appreciate you for watching this video. If you need anything, let me know in the comments below, man. I'm doing a little bit better with the comments. A little bit better. And as always, join the community of drivers, man. Hit the link in the description. It's the Telegram group. If you're going to be a part of the community, going to communicate with us, talk to us. Don't just be sitting there. Because we don't like takers, man. Takers can get out. But yeah, with that being said, man, out of here. Deuces.